Our first guest is Miss Kisha Alcano, a current receptionist at Marriott Hotel. And our second guest is Mrs. Maylene Valmadrid, a former flight attendant. So without further ado, let's get started! Good morning, Miss Kisha and also Miss Maylene. So here is my first question. What are the highlights in working in a multidiverse environment?
Well, I can say that it's more on advantage than a highlight because I get to know more different people with different culture.
Okay, I always consider two things as part of the highlights. One is respect and the other one is experience. You know, being an international flight attendant for almost 2 decades, it has taught me so much about culture, traditions, and of course, you know, the norms of other countries, which made me understand and respect their individuality.
Thank you very much for your answer. Please stay tuned because we will be right back.
Finger and clover, they go together. Finger and clover, my love affair.
Simot sarap kasama ang Clover.
O, break muna.
Let's take it slow, so slow. Sweet escape with great taste, white. Tamang timpla ng coffee at sweet cream. Smooth and creamy taste, namnamin. Ang smooth and creamy, great taste.
Sa bawat break, mag-smooth and creamy, great taste white. Also in white crema and caramel.
So to continue our interview, our second question is, can you name a specific incident and share with us how you resolved it?
Well, a lot of guests in our hotel left their purse and other things during their dine-in on Marriott Cafe, and then we as the receptionist get the chance to surrender their lost things at our lost and found, and when the time comes that the guest would retrieve, I guess retrieve is the word, their belongings, we immediately ask for the assistance at the lost and found. There are certain procedures to get the thing, like we need valid IDs from the guest and a picture that we've given already their belongings.
Okay, I was working with Qatar Airways. That's the #1 airline in the world. I worked as first as an economy cabin crew, and eventually was upgraded to being a cabin crew director. So I worked there for 15 years, and I was the overall in charge of economy, first class, and even the flight deck crew. A specific incident, a typical scenario on flight. You know, I usually deal with different nationalities. So basically, I usually call a cabin crew member from economy to disseminate an instruction to the rest of the economy cabin crew. You know, the crew willingly accepted, you know, the thing that I was asking her to do. Apparently, when I came there, it happened that everything that I have instructed was done in a different manner, and it was done wrongly. So definitely there was a conflict, and you know, it was a bit contradicting to what I have told her to do. So what I did, you were asking me about how it was resolved, right? So I have resolved it in a debriefing. I made a debriefing and I made both sides, you know, explain their part on why it has happened. They have explained their sides, and I listened willingly and attentively. And perhaps that has helped me resolve the conflict by amicably settling them, the crew members. I should say that the problem here, the conflict basically, is the language barrier. So it was misunderstood, it was miscommunicated, but the good thing is both of them understood after that debriefing. And so that's basically how it was resolved.
Sit back and relax because we will be right back after the short break.
Sa pag-unlad ng turismo, umangat ang Pilipino. Mga may bahay, nagkahanap buhay. Silang walang tinig, boses na ng kasaysayan, best friend ng lahat, naging tour guide na. At ang daan-taong apo, naibida ang kulturang Pilipino. Pagdiwang ang isang dekada ng Tourism Act, kabuhayan sa turismo, pinauunlad ang bawat Pilipino.
We are still here at The Morning Vibes! And our last question is, what are the advantages and disadvantages of working in a multicultural, diverse environment?
As I said a while ago, that having an advantage is getting to know their culture from different countries. And as for the disadvantage, I think mas na-ano natin yung culture na nila. Kumbaga, mas na-adopt na natin yung culture nila. Like, for example, sa K-pop, diba? We Filipinos love their song.
Advantage and disadvantages, actually there are so many to mention, but if I may say so, I would like to stress on two things. One is scalability. When you are exposed in a multicultural environment, you tend to work closely with other nationalities. You tend to understand how they react to things. You tend to understand how they are talking to you. In this manner, you get to explain yourself and you get to represent not yourself. Like, for example, not me as Smiley, but I represent my country, the Philippines. The moment I step on the aircraft, I no longer represent my name. I represent the Philippines and I represent my company. So that's basically the scalability. You tend to leverage yourself. You get to adopt, and your motivation level tend to rise. And the next is creativity. I believe that a diverse environment is a source of innovation. The best thing about a diverse environment is you get to recreate yourself, you innovate yourself. You get to realize that there is still so much to see and so much to develop within you. So that's about the advantage. Now, to simplify the disadvantages, I can think of the acronym CME. That is conflicting working styles, miscommunication, and etiquette gap. Work attitude and styles varies with different nationalities. So the conflict here is, you understand them differently, the way as how they wanted to express themselves. So that's conflict. The next thing is miscommunication. People from different countries talk differently. We Filipinos, we talk like soft, and you know how we deliver words, and we express ourselves. Some people do that differently, so that's when the miscommunication happens. And then the next thing is etiquette gap. For some, it is considered acceptable, but others may perceive it differently. Hence, misunderstanding usually happens and occurs due to gap in their work etiquette.
So, thank you po. So, lastly, what is your message to those aspiring students who wants to work in a tourism and hospitality industry?
It has always been my dream to work in the tourism industry ever since when I was young. So, I think there's one thing that I would like to share to all of you. I believe in this quote from a book that I got to read when I was a kid. You know, when you can't fly, try to run. When you can't run, try to walk. When you can't walk, crawl. If you can't crawl, just keep on moving, you know, because no matter what you do, as long as you're moving, you will go places. So, you know, let's continue to soar high and reach for our dreams. You have to remember to be happy in everything that you do, because everything else follows. If you are not happy and content with whatever career path you have chosen, you will not move forward. So that's basically what I wanted to tell to all of you.
Thank you very much for our guests for being here today, for sharing your experience, thoughts, and expertise in a multicultural, diverse environment. And also, we would also like to thank the viewers and the following sponsors.
See you in the next episode of
The Morning Vibes! Bye!